This story was inspired by a horrific incident from a female named Monique Miller, 28, who passed away after getting cosmetic BBL surgery in Miami on March 6th. On March 5th, Monique Miller traveled to Miami to undergo cosmetic surgery. She passed away at an unlicensed surgical recovery house at 10:26 p.m. on March 7th after allegedly being given unprescribed medication following the procedure earlier that day. The 28-year-old reportedly traveled with her sister, Hira Barnes, and the pair planned to get cosmetic procedures together at Ivana Plastic Surgery. Miller had a BBL, a procedure where fat is transferred from other areas of the body and liposuction. Miller then stayed with her sister at a recovery house following the procedure. Barnes later awoke to find her sister cold and still in the same position as when they fell asleep. On finding her unresponsive, they called 911. The police report adds that on arrival at the scene, which they identified as an illegal post-plastic surgery recovery home, police found the victim exhibiting signs of rigor mortis while heavily bandaged and lying face down on a bed. Miller leaves behind a 1-year-old daughter. It might be too soon for me to talk about this, even anonymously, but I need to get it off my chest. Recently, I was hanging with a few buddies of mine. The three of them aren't the best people, and they've definitely been a bad influence throughout my life. That evening, we talked about a ton of different things, but there was one topic I never expected the guys to even think about. Dolls. Not just any dolls, but the Labubu dolls that have been recently going viral. And nothing about them mattered to us, except for the fact that people wanted them, and because there was so much demand, prices were high. Eventually, the guys started coming up with a scheme and wanted to sell Labubus while they were still hot. I should have known where they were going with it, but I stupidly name-dropped a place I knew had a ton of Labubus, a local collector store called One Stop. I was just trying to suggest that they could work there, and get commission for selling them, but my friends had another idea. All at once, they turned to me with an evil look in their eyes and wanted to rob and steal their stock of Labubu dolls and sell them on the street. They would be loaded by the end of the week if they could pull it off. As soon as I realized what they were really talking about, I tried to back out. I didn't want anything to do with it, but by then it was already too late. Guys, I don't want to rob anybody. That's like a family-owned business, man. Look, it's happening, shithead. There's no backing out. You're either in or we're jumping you. What? Are you in or not? I'm sure you're used to hearing that from every girl you slept with. Sure, I'm in. It was either I helped them rob the store or let all three of them kick my ass right to the ICU. So I chose option A. That same night, we put the plan together. We already had the tools we needed. Gloves, masks, crowbars, and bags. It even just so happened that one of my friends had stolen a pickup truck a few days ago. He kept it in his garage, which would make the perfect getaway vehicle. Since he'd already taken care of that, he'd stay outside and make the getaway while the rest of us went in. By the time everything was set to go, we stayed at my friend's house until it got late. When night fell, we transferred over to the getaway driver spot, then piled into the stolen truck and made our way to One Stop. When we got there, we put on our masks, made sure our sleeves were down and our hoods were up. As soon as the truck stopped, the three of us got out and ran to the door. Within seconds, we broke the padlock and pried the door out, and just like that, we were in. We all started grabbing all the Labubus that we could. We smashed open the cases and went behind the counter for the most expensive ones and completely cleared the shelves. Suddenly, it was over. There weren't any Labubus left to grab, and we were carrying as much as we could possibly hold. A distant siren caught my attention right as we were leaving. I couldn't know for certain if they were coming for us, but I was pretty damn sure that they were. We loaded up the truck and piled in. Then the getaway driver got us the hell out of there. Once we were off the block, we took our masks off to avoid looking suspicious. And I swear, literally seconds later, the first cops went speeding by us, right back to One Stop. If we'd stayed there just a minute longer, it would have been over. Still, we weren't home free until we were back in the garage. And of course, that had to be one of the nights that we stopped at a red light and a cop pulled up right next to us. We were all shitting ourselves there for about 30 seconds, but thankfully, when the light turned green, he went the other way and drove off. Back at the house, we celebrated when we knew the coast was finally clear. I felt more relieved than I ever had in my life, and everyone was thrilled with the amount of Labubus we were able to snatch. We couldn't even imagine how much money we were going to make off them. However, the very next day, the anxiety came back in full force. What we'd done had already broken the local news, and it was starting to go viral. They had crystal clear video of us robbing the store, but we hadn't been identified yet. We had been careful enough to avoid that. Despite all of us trying to stay low-key, the getaway driver got spooked and dumped the truck. The cops ended up finding it, which led them to our friend's house, where we had stashed all the Labubus. Someone in the neighborhood must have seen us unloading stuff and got suspicious, even though we kept everything covered. In the end, all the Labubus got seized and given back to One Stop, and my friend got arrested, so it was all for nothing. Myself and the other two guys are still laying low, but I'm constantly scared the one who didn't get away is going to snitch. If he does, we're all getting caught too. This story was inspired by a viral Labubu robbery that was caught on camera. Police are investigating a warehouse robbery where thousands of dollars worth of Labubus. When serving a search warrant to a resident in nearby Upland, the detectives recovered 14 boxes of Labubus valued at around $30,000. Evidence shows that the stolen Labubus located in Southern California were being prepared for resale, according to the police department. The Labubus have since been returned to their rightful owners. The Labubus were stolen from a warehouse over several days, according to police. During the investigation, when police served the search warrant, a suspect attempted to flee the scene but surrendered. Police did not identify the suspects in their press release. The recovery came after another location, One Stop Sales, a store in La Puente, California, shared footage of thieves stealing around $7,000 worth of Labubus from the store. The vehicle used in the crime was a stolen Toyota Tacoma, which was recovered shortly afterward.